Wintertime watering is a breeze with a bucket full of collapsible hose. Old man winter is going to pass through here tomorrow. So far we've had a pretty mild winter, only light freezes a few times. But tomorrow's going to be different, calling for a winter storm, and temperatures are not going to get much above freezing. They are saying it's going to get up to 35 tomorrow, but usually in this valley here that we're in, temperatures are a little bit less than what they tell us they're going to be. Calling for a couple inches of snow and ice blazing on top of that. Not sure what to expect. We got to make a few preparations to get these pigs through that weather tomorrow and the freezing temperatures in the next couple of days. Let's go take a look. So this here, we have this in all the pastures. This is like a 110-gallon watering trough, and we just keep it covered. And believe it or not, the cover on it really helps keep the cold air off of it and the wind and the freezing temperatures. And usually just have a little bit of an ice skiff so far this year right on top of it. You can see there's still some ice in it right there right now, and this is melting down from this morning. There's a little piece of ice. It's not very thick except right on the edge there. And we keep this hammer up here. Like I say, we haven't really had to use it. It doesn't look like it's been used at all, and we can just stick it in here and bust this ice down. Do the same in the bowls if we have to, but these rubber bowls that we keep in tires, because this girl right here behind me, where'd you go, girl? Yeah, this girl right here, she likes to flip the bowls out, so we keep them in these tires. And if it wasn't in the tire, you just come by and give it a kick like that. It'll break up a little bit of ice. But in the evenings, we don't fill up the two that are in tires because they get a little bit of water on the outside of them. They get froze and stuck in the tires, and they're kind of hard to get out. So we just fill up this one over here and this one in the evenings. And during the summer, we use the exact same setup, and we keep them covered in the summer because the leaves and stuff fall off these maple trees and kind of makes kind of a leafy tea inside of those, and it gets a little bit nasty. And sometimes we don't want to use the water. You see Punky right here getting her drink of water. And you see behind me there the garden hose that we keep wrapped up here all the time, and we just stretch it over there to the house. And during the summer, it stays connected over there about all the time. It's about 50 feet run over there probably. And we keep it connected all summer long and just turn it on and fill up as we need to. And we do all the bowl watering out of these troughs. But in wintertime, we can't really do that because these hoses, no matter how much you try and get the water out of them, they'll always retain some water, especially in the nozzles, and they get froze up and we can't use them. So let me show you what we do to fight that. So in the wintertime, we use collapsible hose. And this is what it is. We keep a couple 100 feet in this bucket. I think we got 200 feet in this bucket right now. And just keep the end that goes into the water spigot on the top, and all we got to do is hook it up into the spigot over there and turn the water on, and this hose will start to fill up, and it gets large, and we'll be able to stretch it out all the way to over there and fill up the trough. Now all I got to do is carry the bucket, and this is filling up with water and expanding, getting larger, and it'll come out of the bucket right over to my destination. I'll just get this thing some slack and put it in here. and it'll fill right up. You gotta be careful, this hose is really light and it'll float to the top, and as your water level gets up here to the top, it'll bump the hose right out of it, and then we'll make this area real nice and muddy. And it's already nice and muddy because they spill water out of the bowls, so we try and keep it as clean as possible. Get a little more out of here. And then these clips right here we use to keep the top on this thing. I can just put it right up here, and this helps a lot. Got a little bit of cattle panel up here, and I'll just clip it to that, and that helps keep it from falling out as well. Kunekunes are extremely curious animals, and they always want to come over here and check out what we're doing whenever we're in the pasture. Got a little burr on your rear end. Let me get that off of you. You got some Velcro hitchhiking. Ah. There you go. I got it. While that's filling up, let's take a look at their houses. So we don't do a whole lot with the houses. A couple days ago we did come in and put some fresh hay. Just a nice little bit of hay in there, and we actually kicked most of it out. Hello, is it nap time? I'm sorry. They come in here and they nibble on it a little bit, and they curl up to each other. So you've got two pigs in here right now, and they do really well in the cold weather. They can curl up together and stay nice and warm. I can feel the heat between these two pigs with my hand just right here. Yeah, it's nap time. I'm gonna leave these guys alone. We made these cold weather covers, kind of helps keep the wind and stuff out. And see, we put fresh hay in here the day before yesterday, and they about kicked it all out. That's why we don't go extremely crazy putting hay in these houses, because we found that most of the time they just kick it right out. They eat on it a little bit, and they curl up with each other in it a little bit. But usually, I would say about 40% of what we put in there, they push right back outside the house. Okay, I'm all done with this hose now, and one thing that I wanted to mention about these hoses is that I'm not crazy about them in the summertime. I'm not going to take the nozzle off because I'll get wet, but one plus about them is they have a little valve here, so I could take the nozzle off if I wanted to. Just close that valve right there, and each hose comes like that, which is a plus. The reason I'm not crazy about them is because this is a very small diameter hose. They call it half-inch hose, but the hole in the top of this, where the valve is only about a 1/4 inch. And that's by design, because that's how it creates the vacuum to suck this hose all the way back to the spigot when we're done with it. And they don't flow the amount of water that I like to get out of those. I like 3/4 inch hoses in the summertime to get a lot of water quickly, especially when I'm watering gardens and stuff like that. So I'm not crazy about these in the summertime, and we don't really use them in the summertime. We put them away after the winter and get them back out when winter starts. So I'm not real sure how Kelly does this part, but I like to carry the bucket back over to the spigot and do it all at the spigot. You can just open up this nozzle right here after you've closed the spigot, and this hose will collapse all the way to the spigot. But it's kind of braided and fibrous, and it likes to get stuck on grass and rocks and bumps through here. So I like to have it all right here where I can deal with it right in the bucket. And we'll just, when I get done with it, we'll just close the spigot and open up the hose. And as this water comes out of the hose, you can already see where it's collapsing here. It's going to come right to me. Now again, It doesn't come right to me real great on the grass. You see it's going away from me because it's hung up there where there's still water in it. And that's okay. I'm going to go up there and get the whole thing. But again, the biggest benefit to this is that I can get all the water out of the hose, or almost all the water out of the hose, fits in a 5-gallon bucket, and take it back in the house. And we don't have to worry about frozen hoses and frozen water. All right, so most of the water is out of this now, and I can take the spigot off of it. And we don't do this. Spigot goes in the bottom of the bucket, and you got to make sure that you don't forget to close your spigot. I've done that before, forgot to close it, and then when you open up your spigot the next time to drag your hose out, you end up filling your bucket full of water. So I'm going to take this off and show you what I was talking about on that small diameter hose. So again, you can see here, it's about the thickness of my finger. They call it 1/2 inch hose, but, and you can't tell on camera, but the hole in there where the water travels through is very small, and it's all small all the way through. This has got like 3 different layers of hose, and it's kind of fibrous on the outside. It's got rubber on the inside, and the rubber is very small. And that's how it works. Again, you can't see on camera, but the hole on the other side of this is even smaller than the hole at the valve. But again, that's how it works. That's how it creates this vacuum so that it can collapse the hose back up and fit in this bucket when we get done with it. All right, let's put this back on. All right, again, make sure you turn it off. Just come over here and remove it from the spigot now. And I'll bring the spigot end over here and show you the hole in that. And again, you can't hardly see that on the camera. There's not enough light in there. But the hole in here is all the way down to about 1/8. And there's a gasket, just like you would expect there to be for the hose fitting. And that's why I don't like these in the summer, because they don't flow a lot of water. They flow plenty of water to get us by, to fill up watering troughs and whatever else we got to do in the wintertime. So I'll put it back in the bucket. Nozzle goes in the bottom. And the reason the nozzle goes in the bottom, because as this hose fills up, it's going to come out of the bucket like you saw it do. And when I get to my destination at the end of the hose, I'm going to have the nozzle end in my hand. Plus, you don't have to dump it all out to hook it up to the spigot, because the spigot connection is going to be right in the top. We bought these on Amazon a couple years ago. I think Kelly found a coupon or a deal or something on them, and we bought a whole bunch of them. And we used them in the summertime, but after I realized that the small holes is what was causing me to not have the water that I like to have in them, then we just kind of went away from them and went back to rubber hoses for the summer. But extremely beneficial in the winter. I don't have to worry about freezing up 3/4 inch rubber hose, and I don't have 200 feet of 3/4 inch rubber hose to deal with. You just put all this right back in the bucket, carry it in the house, and done. There it is. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you're checking out Hematite Homestead on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and we'll see you next time.